I observe tourists. I love to see people. I happen to like crowds because I don't live around crowds. I have an apartment in San Francisco and I have a number of dwellings in the surrounding communities, and I move around quite a bit. Sometimes I like a quiet night out in the sticks. Sometimes I like to be in the city, whatever. And I sometimes have to revert to my New York origins and get lost in a crowd. And I like to be alone. I love to walk in a crowd and get lost. It's one of my favorite occupations. You say to me, what do you really like to do? I like to get lost in a crowd and look at people. So I go around and this and that. And I observe different tourists and different people. So you see, it's still stereotypically true. The Germans are stoic and, very, very, they're stoic, not laughing. The French, I don't know, kind of snooty to themselves, even amongst themselves, with their sophistication in their own mind, sophistication based on what I don't know. And the Italians are happy and laughing. You see the 14-year-old girls with their parents, nice kids, smiling, happy, laughing. And I'm reminded of what an Italian friend said to me. He said, Italians are happy Jews. I'll never forget that one. That was a great line. I loved it. I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard. He said, Mike, he said, Italians and Jews are similar. He said, but Italians are happy Jews. I thought that was the funniest thing because a lot of Italians look like Jews and Jews look like Italians. I thought that was funny. Then I have another Italian friend who says to me, Christian, Jewish, he says, how do you put it? He says, different a division, same a corporation. I love that one. I thought that was good. Now, that's what you call inter-religious communication. That's what happens when people live together and they don't throw bombs in the other one's house. You know what I'm saying? The Christians live next to the Jews now, 100 years in this country or more, and they don't put bombs in the other person's house of worship. Somehow they don't put a bomb in the gas tanks at JFK in the name of their religion. Somehow they've learned to get along, despite the centuries of enmity. That's the beauty of America. Now you have a whole group that comes here. Somehow they haven't learned to get along with everybody else. How's that possible? And to make matters worse, they got to build a mosque now at Ground Zero, and they call it cultural sensitivity to stick it right in your eye. And they wonder why people are antagonized. Let me tell you something. If they don't know why that's antagonistic, it shows you what the problem is. If the Muslims behind the Ground Zero mosque do not understand why this is seen as an antagonistic act, that is the problem itself, is because they're insensitive to everybody around them except their own kind. Now, you could write that one down, mark it down, put it in bronze.
Savage.